My name is Lynda Redwood-Campbell. I'm a full-time professor here in the Department of Family Medicine at McMaster University. And I am also affiliated with the Canadian Red Cross. I've been working in different capacities with the Canadian Red Cross and the Department of Family Medicine for over 20 years. So my role with the Red Cross has actually started as what we call a medical delegate, doing emergency response unit. When there's a big international disaster, I work with that team to go internationally to respond to disasters. I just came back from doing a month work in Mozambique. In the middle of March of this year, there was a big cyclone that hit Mozambique. Mozambique is a very poor country in sub-Saharan Africa, and the local government requested international assistance. So what we did is we deployed what we call a level 2 field hospital to help support one of the rural hospitals in the area. So what had happened was actually this big cyclone came in off the coast, the east coast of Africa, and hit various different countries actually, but hit the city of Beira in Mozambique, which was a more populated area, but then continued through the country and into some other countries, but affected this rural area called Namatanda, and that's actually the hospital that we went to support as part of the emergency response unit. What we were seeing, we saw a lot of things. The two things that we saw probably most often, we saw cholera, and unfortunately this area of Mozambique actually didn't have so much cholera before the cyclone hit, but as soon as the cyclone hit, the numbers of cholera skyrocketed, and there was a need for a cholera treatment center. So the good news is, in fact, that the numbers started coming down again, and that was a combination of different things, including great strategies from the actual local government about getting into the communities and making sure that the water supplies were acceptable during those periods of time. But the second thing we really started to see a lot of was severe and complicated malaria. And that affected mostly children, sometimes pregnant women, and they came in extremely sick. Unfortunately, a lot of people died in the communities before we even saw them. But we developed and set up intense, everything's intense, which is always interesting too, because it's amazing what you can do under a tent. But we developed a malaria treatment center, and so we had local doctors and nurses working together alongside with us in terms of treating the sickest people who had malaria. The other thing that we saw a lot of was the maternal child health. So there was a lot of challenge with being able to deliver needed care to women who were pregnant and who were delivering babies. So that's one area that we're actually expanding on over the next 6 months to help support and train a little bit more detail. What's really exciting to me is that I've been individually doing this work for 20 years, but it's really exciting that in fact over the past year and a half, the synergies of the two organizations have come together, and in fact now we have a signed partnership agreement. And the Canadian Red Cross with the Department of Family Medicine here at McMaster actually now are working on various different projects together. We're working on some domestic research projects, and we're also working on the international projects as well. So that's really exciting for me to see that actually this has all come together.